The mortgage helper is becoming a major strategy for buyers in 2026. Today, we're going to talk about why. What's a mortgage helper? It's basically another way of saying buying a home with rental income built in. Could be a basement apartment, could be an in-law suite, could be an extra studio above the garage. Honestly, it sounds kind of perfect, right? The right solution to affordability: buy a home, rent part of it out, have your tenant pay your rent for you. Perfect. And it's definitely a smart strategy in the right situation. But I'm making this video today because I want to give you the full picture. More information means less stress and better decisions. Okay, so let's start out with sort of the ideal situation, which is that you buy a property, you have a rental apartment in the basement, you have the perfect tenant move in who pays you rent on time every single month. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything. It's like they're invisible, and you have a big chunk of your rent covered for you. I'm making fun a little bit here, but the reality can be a little bit more complicated. I've seen clients so focused on the income potential part of that property that they sort of forget some really important things. And it's my job to help point those out to you. So before we look at any properties, before we go shopping for houses, we really need to talk about the three most important things in this conversation. The first is the legality, the second is the cost, and the third is the lifestyle. So one of the things that people find out quickly when they start looking for a property with income potential is the legality of it. Is it a legal basement apartment? Here's where it gets tricky. Every municipality has their own rules for things like ceiling height. I've seen ceiling height in some municipalities, which, by the way, is part of what makes it legal. I've seen ceiling height in some areas 6.5 feet. In other municipalities, you need a minimum 8-foot ceiling in the basement. So that's a big one. Other things to pay attention to are things like window size. You need to make sure that the window is the correct size for code in that municipality. And also things like separate entrances. Does the basement have a dedicated entrance? Here's why this matters. If you purchase a property and your rental income unit is not legal, you can face fines from the municipality. You can run the risk of having your insurance not cover you if something happens. So let's deal with the first one first, which is it legal? And if it's not legal, how much is it going to cost to make it legal? A lot of times I'm working with buyers who start this process imagining the best case scenario, which is that you have someone move in and pay a big chunk of your mortgage, which is a great idea and it's completely valid. But imagining that you're getting $1,500 a month for that basement apartment, that's not all profit. If something breaks down, like appliances, for example, or there's a water problem, even if you just have to replace the smoke detector because it's old, those are all costs that you have to factor in. You also have to factor in vacancy. What happens when a tenant moves out? Now you need to maybe paint it. You certainly need to clean it. And then there's the time in between tenants that you will have to cover that cost. A good rule of thumb is to set aside 10 to 15% of the monthly rent that you're getting to cover those expenses.